Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to the Word According to Me. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the alternative relationships, the multiple relationships, um, things like polyamory and trinogamy, and all of these things, open relationships. We'll be talking about these in this episode. So let's talk about a little bit of the gist of why I started. I wanted to do this video. It's been about a month and a half, maybe even 2 months, since Janelle Monáe, the singer and actress, and Tessa Thompson, the actress, Tessa Thompson of Thor Ragnarok fame, they came out in an article talking about how they were together, and I think one was bisexual. I think Tessa's bisexual. I think um, um, Janelle considered herself to be pansexual. So, and what really got to me, and one of the things that I've always thought about when it comes to like bisexuality and things like this, um, that how come like bisexuals are not, they only have like their one relationship, and what I mean by that is um, how come they don't have like their gay relationship, which is with obviously the relationship with the same sex, and then have their straight relationship with someone from the opposite sex. Is it because they believe in monogamy, even though they're bisexual, they believe in monogamy, and that even though they like both sexes, they're attracted to both sexes, they still just want to spend with one the rest of your life, right? Or or is it the fact that maybe they may want that, but um, some other people may not want that. Other people may not, be that into it. They want monogamy, while you know while this person doesn't. There are so many questions, so many fronts. This is one of the things I really wish about myself. I wish a lot of things about myself. One of the biggest things I really do wish, I really always wish, is that I really wish I had a bisexual friend and a lesbian friend, so that I could really just, get a better understanding of the lifestyle. Because I feel like I'm 36 years old, and I feel so ignorant. It's one of the reasons why I'm so um, forgiving and understanding of people, especially people younger than me, who don't understand and who claim ignorance when they say something. Like recently with Josh Hader and all of his tweets coming out. Josh Hader is a pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. You can Google him and you'll surely find him. You'll find his tweets, and he claims these are the tweets of a 17-year-old. And some people are saying, "Well, a 17-year-old, you shouldn't be saying that." But you know that. And then there's any instance of the N-word said by a white person who says, "Well, I didn't know I could say that." I don't understand why black people can say it, but I can't say it. So I'm always a little bit more understanding and forgiving of that. Um, Not only because I truly believe in giving people the benefit of the doubt and second chances and all that stuff, but I kind of feel that way about the LGBT community. I don't have a lot of um, don't have a lot of um, interaction with that community, so I've never been known about what goes on over there. I have my feelings of what I think is right, and what to feel, that everything like that. But I've always never gone that way. So I've always feel like if I had like a friend like that, I could talk to about some of the things like that. And it could be, and she would know that I'm coming from a place of a little bit of ignorance, but I'm still coming from a place of love. I'm not trying to be like hateful with it or anything like that. So she would be understanding of it. But bringing this back into relationships, I've heard of these. What we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about a lot of these type of relationships, and like some of the questions that they get and they're tired of, and all these other things, and the interests and what they're about. And I've actually heard of these things a long time ago. I've actually always been interested in this. So I remember I first heard polyamory on the initial inclination of Undressed on MTV. For those of y'all who are maybe about as old as I am, you may remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s on MTV, late night, during late night, there was like this soap opera they had called Undressed. And usually what it was a three-story soap opera where it involved teenagers, teenagers in high school, and it involved college kids, and it involved the young adults right out of college. That's where the storylines usually set up. And I remember there was this one story about which this one guy wanted to really get with this girl. I mean the girl's name was Marguerite. And he really wanted to get with Marguerite, but she was polyamorous. Which means she was with multiple people, and she was with that. And he said, "Well, I can be a part of polyamory." If he wanted to get with her so bad, but obviously he was into it. He got jealous, and the whole story was about that. But so I mean, that's when I first heard polyamory. I first heard about trinogamy when actually when I was kind of also, almost about the same type of subject about this. I was thinking about is there a relationship where bisexual would be with with two people, or vice versa, whatever. Is there a three-person relationship out there? They're named for it, and I found trinogamy, and and it's been a long time since then, since I remember thinking about that, and I've doing some research for this video I was gonna do. I found a thing. This maybe let you guys know a little bit about it. Actually, I have several links. They will all be in the description box. So if you want to go and read these along with me, or if you want to read these yourself and find more information about this, if you are interested in them, you can click on the description box. Now the links will be down there for you. But this one is called Life in Trinogamy. I think it's an opening to a blog. So let's just think about it. This is from August 31st, 2009. Trinogamy and what it is what is the title. Trinogamy is basically the practice of having three people in a committed relationship. Yes, there's a lot more to it, but the nuts and bolts gist of the idea is that three people are all in a relationship. No, it is not an open relationship, because you are not going out trying to find more people or sleeping around or any of that. You are committed. In most trinogamous relationships, there is at least one bisexual individual, or two, or hell, all three, or none at all can be bisexual. It doesn't matter. I guess that could be the case. I've always heard that at least one had to be bisexual, because if you were, let's say if it's a guy and two girls, I guess maybe the two girls don't necessarily have to, if they're both fit, they just have to get along, almost like sister wives, I guess maybe, So okay, this lifestyle is hard, and it's not for everyone. If you thought that trust issues were hard when it was just two people together in a relationship, just imagine what it would be like with three. I am making this blog partly because I could not find anything like it on the web. And trust me, I looked. I wanted to share people a snapshot of our lives together, explain how we handle or try things differently, such as affection, trust, love, time, and kids. Yes, 2 kids, and how we came to being trinogamous. Anyone that has happened to run across this blog would probably have done the exact same thing I did, and that was to just do a search for trinogamy, because you either have heard a friend mention it, or you saw it on TV or whatever. Hopefully, after reading my words about our experiences, our life, it will help you make an informed decision on if you think that you can make this lifestyle work for you. So once again, the link will be down in the description. This is her the blog. I think it said lifeintrinogamy.blogspot.com. I see on the side too, it's got some archives. I don't think it looked like it. Whoever started this posted it a long time. Posted a long. It looks like it's 2 posts in August and 2 posts in September of 2009. Looks like they kind of maybe couldn't keep up with it, or how this world is. There could be too much hate or something like that, because some people hate what they don't understand and they don't want to understand it and something like that, and then everything like that. But yeah, I think, if I'm being honest, trinogamy sounds like a good thing. It does. It sounds like a good thing. I think if you are open-minded and honest enough, that I believe this could easily work, especially when you're talking about having one of them being bisexual. So it's. I think most of us have watched some type of television show where there was a couple, and a couple and then a couple wanted to bring in somebody from the outside, someone into their relationship, and they did it, and it didn't work, and then that person became the couple's boyfriend or girlfriend. And it seems to be a working relationship. That seems what this seems to be, except it may be even more. I don't think there's any marriage involved in this, obviously. Although it could be, I don't think it has to go that way. So, and again, something like this, if I'm being honest, something like this intrigues me. I guess because of my past, something like that. I mean, to be able to have two people that loves you and that you love and that love each other, I think that would be awesome, right? So to have more love and with each other, I think that would be just totally cool. So yeah, I think this is totally cool. So that is trinogamy, and once again, the link to that article will be down in the description box below. We have a story here, an article from Glamour magazine, about polyamory, and I talked about earlier about that TV show and about it. I think these next few episodes are just going to be about polyamorous relationships, right? Yeah. So this is one from, like I said, from Glamour magazine from earlier this year, February 1st. 7 polyamory myths it's time to stop believing. So let's just take a look at this and let's just see what it's about. It's a typical romance trajectory. Most of us grew up believing it. Date around a little, find the one, settle into a committed, monogamous relationship, and live happily ever after. Sizzling hot sex life naturally. But as anyone who has ever dated before can attest, that's surprisingly hard to pull off. So maybe the problem isn't with ourselves, but with the narrative we've been told to play into. According to one 2006 study, about 20% of people are exploring other kind of happy endings, the kind that involve multiple relationships with multiple people. You've no doubt heard of non-monogamy, and while there are many different forms of it, polyamory, the practice of having more than one romantic or sexual partner at a time, is definitely gaining the most visibility in popular culture. It was the fourth most frequently searched relationship term on Google in 2017. But even if we're aware that polyamory is a thing, plenty of us don't understand how it actually works. In fact, even people who practice polyamory struggle against some of the assumptions about what it means to be poly. So let's look at some of those assumptions and see whether they're still relevant in the polyamory conversation or if we should throw them to the wayside. Myth 1. Polyamory is mostly about having sex. It's easy to assume that the appeal of polyamory boils down to sexual relationships. After all, even diehard monogamists tend to feel the pangs of desire for others. It's only natural. That's why I've always said we're not monogamous creatures. I truly believe we are not monogamous creatures. That's just coming from me, not this author. I don't believe it. So that's why this multiple relationships and everything like that always intrigued me. Back to the article. That said, the first thing most poly people would tell you is that they aren't into polyamory for the sex, or at least not just for the sex. Poly entails a certain openness that I have found in other relationship models. It is not a free-for-all fuckfest, says writer Sharon Pfeiffer. For me, it is about cultivating meaningful, ongoing relationships with potential of falling in love. In fact, many polyamorous people build what they see as a sort of extended support network, where some, not all, connections involve a sexual component. When I began my journey into polyamory, there was so much sex, says sex educator and sex ed a go-go host Dirty Lola, who's 36. What I found beyond the sex were friendships, a support system, and family. Many of the relationships I formed didn't have a sexual element at all. But what they did have was a deep love and respect for another. And finally, some people get into polyamory because they're interested in a romantic relationship without sex. There are a lot of people in the polyamorous community who identify as asexual, says Dedeker Winston, the author of The Smart Girl. They find polyamory appealing because they can still have an emotional, romantic relationship or multiple relationships with partners to be asexual or celibate. Which is very, now see, that's a very interesting thought right there. So, you find somebody that you click with and everything like that, but then you find out that he or she may not be all that interested in the sexual part of a relationship. And here you are a certified horn dog. so then you figure out, well, how is this relationship? I can look at you so that you can get your sex and have your sex and then still love me and everything like that. So that's very interesting. I think it happens a lot. There are a lot of relationships. I've heard of that mostly when it comes to, like, you know, people who get extremely sick, people who get unfortunately very disabled, you know, doing accidents or something like that. You know, when a guy or a girl like has you know, cancer or something like that, and they go through all of those treatments, and then they, you know, their sex drive just goes away, or it hurts them or something like that. They will say to their partner, go out and have your fun. Just don't, you know, have your fun, and just, you know, because they love them, they want them to have their sexual, you know, thing. So I've heard of that before, but that's very interesting. We've got about, like I said, we got 7 myths. I'm gonna see because we get more articles I definitely want to get to. So I think maybe I would just try to cut these down a little bit. Myth 2 is for people who don't want to commit, and I definitely think that should definitely be a myth. I don't think it's not any type of relationship where you know, it's just not, you want to, you know, settle down and get married or things like that, or you want to sleep with multiple people. It's not about having commit. I hate that. It is almost judgmental. It's not about that. You know, it's about being open-minded, and being open and being more open to, certifying. Again, I said, as I said it a couple minutes ago, I'll say it again. I don't think we're monogamous creatures, but I think because of society and religion and things like that, it almost says that we should be forced to be monogamous, and I've never, I've never thought, I never thought that's the way you should go about it. So, and it's definitely so, and I think that's definitely what that means is you should not have to do that. Myth: polyamory can never really work because humans are jealous by nature. No, yeah, again, I think this is a good idea. Let's see, this Liz Powell was quoted here by saying, "A lot of us get this idea of what it's like to be a perfect poly person, which we take to mean that you never feel jealousy, and you're always perfectly happy about what your partner does. That is not realistic. Yes, I don't think it is. I think you can get jealous. Of course, there's probably gonna be a little jealousy in you. I mean, think about not only in polyamory, but maybe in the other forms of different types of relationships. Think about it has to something to you. Like if you are a man and you are in an open relationship with a woman, and you are a swinger, right? You're a swinger, and you're swinging with another couple, and here you are, and you get you get down to business with it, and you're hearing noises come from your girlfriend or your wife or your significant other. You hear noises that you don't hear, but this other man is making those noises. I'm sure that it has to make you feel a certain type of way. So yeah, I think definitely it gets jealousy, but I don't think that that works. That works in that way. I don't think. I think you can be jealous, and polyamory can work, and a lot of other things can work. But I think you have to be open and honest about it, and talk about it, and just not jump to conclusions and things like that. Let's see. Myth 4: orgies are the name of the game. Let's read this whole thing here because I think that's something that people talk about. Not quite. In the same way that polyamory isn't all about sex, it also isn't about group sex. Sure, group sex happens in certain relationships under certain circumstances, but there are plenty of poly people who never have group sex, and those who do don't necessarily have it all the time, says Paige Turner, 36, a relationship coach and writer of the blog Polyland. Plus, even when group sex does happen, it's rarely the out-of-control partner-swapping crush of naked bodies we often see in porn. Most of the more intensive sexual contact happens between members of a couple. These are scenes that are typically linked between the couples by groping or kissing, Turner said. So what you are seeing in a sea of swirling bodies is actually a handful of triads or couples getting it on with their usual partners. So yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I think just because you polyamory doesn't necessarily mean that you're having orgies every week and things like that. I think that would be stupid to assume. And I also think if that's the reason why you want to do polyamory is that you think it's just going to be an out and out orgy world, then you're definitely going to be wrong. Myth: polyamory is for commitment phobes. I mean, this has to be right. I mean, again, it's not for commitment phobes. I think again, I'll put this on me because I'm the only one I can really talk about. I would want to settle down with somebody, spend the rest of my life with somebody, have kids, and do all of that stuff. But polyamory does, it does interest me. And that doesn't mean that I would want to. I mean, I just told you. It doesn't mean that I don't want to have somebody spend the rest of my life with. It just means that it's something that is interesting to me. It's something that I would be willing to, try out. and see if it really is for me. I think there's people are they put so much judgment on people who do these other type of things, and I think it's totally wrong. Myth 6: poly people are more at risk for an STI. And listen, this is that silly stuff. This is again the judgment that. Well, I tell you, I got sick sick a couple of weeks ago. And ever since then, I just, I've seemingly gotten rid of the cough and things like that. But boy, I'm having a reaction to. Anyway, back to what I was saying. This, of course, is like this is the thing, the go-to thing when it comes to things like that. People who sleep around, sex workers, anything like that. They have to be dirty people, quote unquote, dirty people who are filled with STIs and things like that, and they have a whole bunch of herpes and the clap and everything like that. No, that's not the case. It's not the case, and I think you're stupid to even think that. And last 7, myth 7: polyamory practitioners never get attached to anyone. No, I'm sure that I would guess I'm sure that's not the case. I'm sure that I'm almost sure. Let me actually read this because I want to see what this says. People who practice polyamory tend to use the word abundance to describe the wealth of love, affection, and possibility that having multiple partners tends to bring to their life. The downside is that more love can also mean more potential for heartbreak. With much love comes much heartache, Dirty Lola said. It doesn't matter how well you communicate, how good you are at meeting your partner's needs and desires, or how strong you think your connection is. Some things just aren't meant to last. If there's one lesson beyond all of the myth busting, it's that polyamory isn't one size fits all. Or maybe that love isn't one size fits all. We can each choose to do it a little differently in whatever way fits. For me, monogamy was never a perfect fit, or even an almost perfect fit. Like that half size too small shoe you can force your foot into because it was 50% perfect. 50% perfect. 50 what? Because it was 50. Yeah, it says 50 perfect. I was supposed to say 50%. Because it was 50% off at Neiman Marcus last call sales. Sharon Pfeiffer said, polyamory allows me to love on my terms, who I want, how I want, and for how long, with all of the consent involved. So yeah, I think I think all of these myths are good. I think you guys really should go ahead and take a look at all of my links below. I have so many other sites here. I have something from Flare.com. What is polyamory? Then I have something from Women's Health Mag. It's called Polyamory versus Open Relationships. And then I have from the Huffington Post. It's Understanding Polyamorous Relationships. It is 12 questions people in polyamorous relationships are sick of hearing of. So, I mean, there's so much stuff, so much things. I think you can check it all down in the comment section. I was gonna read all of these, but I actually think I've given you enough actually. So I'm calling an audible here. I think I'm giving you enough. But all of these links, all 5 of these links, will be down in the description box down below. So, wrapping this up, again, for me, I think that we need to kind of normalize these things. And I think we need to be more open to these things. More open to the relationships of polyamory. And more open to the relationships of trinogamy. And things like that. that it is okay to want to have multiple relationships and multiple things. That bisexuals should be more than okay. That if they choose, they should be able to have their gay relationship and their straight relationship, and not be looked down upon and not looked as you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. You're trying to, you commitment phobe and all those things I just read about the myths. That yes, that they want their gay relationship, but also want their straight relationship as well. So I think all of these we should be more open and be more honest about and be more tolerant of, and just not assume the worst, that these are quote unquote dirty people, or these are people who are commitment for, or these are just, or these are heathens or something like that. I remember I saw something on Facebook where there was people who swinging. There were hardcore Christians, hardcore Christians, diehard God believers, church every Sunday, those type of things. But then they were swingers, and they spread the word of God through their swinging. And the people on Facebook were all like, they just they're being nasty, and and God's gonna send them to hell. And it was so disgusting to see. I mean, really stop it, y'all. Really, this is 2018. We're gonna still, I joke this. Let me put it like this. I don't want to disrespect somebody's thoughts or beliefs, but let's just say this: are we still going to think that doing something that doesn't hurt other people, that doesn't hurt themselves, is going to be demeaned by God if he or she exists? Are we really going to think that? Come on now, let's stop this. Let's stop this. Let's smarten up a little bit. So yeah, post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think about this topic. Let's have an open, honest conversation down in the comment section. Let's be adults, though. I don't want to see any hate, anything like that. I'm not going to have that on my channel. If it's something that you disagree with, that's totally fine. You can have your opinion that you don't think polyamorous is, you don't think it works, or like that, or if you don't think that it's a good way of having a healthy relationship. I'll put it that way, because we know it works, because people wouldn't do it. If you don't think there's a good way to have the healthiest relationship, something like that, I think that's fine. You can have that opinion, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be about all of the hatred or anything like that towards people who are in it or anything like that. So, usually I am a free speech person. Say what you want to say down in the comment section. For the most part, I do have words that are banned in my comments, and that's on all of my videos. So if you try to put that word in the comments, something like that, it won't post. So you have those words, but otherwise it's pretty much been a free speech thing. But I think on this one in general, I'm going to be a little bit more saying about what I allow in the comment section. So I'm just asking you guys, let's just be be respectful about this, because I think that's the best way to go about this. Like the video, share the video, subscribe.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Fuck. Subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJ Trip signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.